In 3, 2, 1. With us right now, it's Terri Maxwell. Terri, well, you are a serial entrepreneur, but very specifically for purposes of this conversation, you're the CEO and president of Shiftco, which is shiftco.global on the web, and you're the CEO and president of Share on Purpose, and that is shareonpurpose.com. Terri, thank you so much for being here.
Well, I love the name. I thought, oh, this is perfect. Josh and I have to connect.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perfect, Josh.
Yeah, please do give us an overview of your work. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, so Share on Purpose is where it all started. I had this purposeful awakening about 14 years ago and said, I'm tired of growing companies. I want to grow things that matter. And so I sold my existing business, started all over with this simple idea of helping people who are trying to make the world better grow their business. And so Share on Purpose is like a purposeful Shark Tank. We invest in companies that make the world better. We start our own brands, and it's a good life. I feel like today I'm living the dream that I truly am helping thousands of conscious entrepreneurs grow their business and make a bigger impact.
Wow. I feel like you and I are going to be very good friends. I love your purpose. So why is this such a critical focus? We were just talking briefly before we hit record. From your perspective, why is this critical today?
Well, I know for myself, I thought I was the only person in the world that was having this epiphany when it happened to me in 2008, 2009. I thought, well, I'm the only one in the world, and I'm the only one that sees it. And I didn't realize that there's half a dozen organizations that serve businesses trying to make the world better. There's Conscious Capitalism and B Corp and Small Giants. And so there's these organizations that are trying to propel this movement forward. And once I realized I wasn't the only one, then I thought, well, how can I help more people like me that really just want to make a bigger impact as we make more money in the world?
Yeah. And I shared this with you. So my background is in kind of studying and leading on consumer behavior, and consumers expect it today. It used to be that if you were just a money grubbing entrepreneur, cool, good, hey, wonderful. But today, there's a big chunk of the population that says, no, sorry, that's not good enough. What are you doing in the world? Oh, well, we're creating great handbags in a reasonable price. Yeah, cool. But what are you doing in the world as a part of that? I mean, if you're not involved in something, that's a huge negative for, again, a big chunk of the population, specifically speaking about millennials and Gen Z. And companies who do lead with purpose are the ones that are the darlings of folks that carry this consciousness. We'll start there with consumers because it's critical.
Yeah, and I think I always like to understand the why behind the what, Josh. And my grandfather taught me. He was my first entrepreneurial mentor. He had a juice bar in Sarasota, Florida, and he said, profit is the tip that your customers give you when you serve them well. And if you really think about that, that's powerful. And I think what consumers are awake to now is they want customers who serve them well, who care about the products, who care, and they don't want to just pollute the environment. And there's a personal nature to a conscious entrepreneur that is unmistakable. Their product is usually better. Their service is usually better. Their price is value-based versus profit-based. How much money can I make? And I think that the world is on to the old profit first mentality that, profit before all else. I think the world is on to that, and they're looking for something better.
Yeah. As of when we're recording this, for the past year or so, a story that's made the headlines quite a bit is the Great Resignation. Now, when you look at the data of what's going on, a lot of employees are saying, what I do doesn't matter, I'm out of here. And so not only is there an economic profit justification for this? There's also an operational, do you want to keep your A-list employees? Do you want to keep your superstar employees? Because they are increasingly getting itchy in working with a company that doesn't stand for anything. That's another reason why you should do this, let alone just your own, I don't mean to editorialize too much here, but, your own well-being, your own soul, like, how does it feel to, when someone asks you at the end of the day, what do you do? And it's just like, when you can't lean into your purpose, for me, and again, I can speak only for me there, but I can't give that empty answer. I have to speak in terms of the impact that I'm making in the world. But anyway, go back to the employees.
Yeah. So I think the employees, it's two things. They want the company they work for to stand for something, but I think they also want their work to matter. In our portfolio of companies, we work very hard to match our employees up with a job that feels meaningful to them. And we go out of our way to do that. And as a result of that, we've got, great retention. One person's been here since the beginning, another person 10 years, another person 5, so on and so forth. So that matching people up with work that matters to them and them working for a company that really is trying to do good. I think, you have to be moving that way or you're not going to survive.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about how Shiftco works, how Share on Purpose works. Is this an incubator, accelerator? I'll let you.
Yeah, it started as an incubator, but I lost a boatload of money trying to do that. So I scrapped that idea. Yeah. So it's really more of an accelerator, but we call it the cultivator. The cultivator cultivates ideas and launches them. And then we invest in conscious businesses outside of our portfolio, things that are making the world better in some way. And then we have a team of people. So our employees basically run these companies that we start, which is really cool. So they start in a role, we figure out what they want to do, and then they start kind of going into these different companies based on what their purpose and passion is. So that is pretty cool. All of the brands are now profitable. We've got a couple more in cultivation, and away you go. The weird thing about Shiftco, some of the clients that I'd worked with said, Terri, you've got this thing called this conscious business growth platform. It really works. You need to turn this into a community. And so that's how Shiftco was born. Some of my customers in my other companies invested, put up half of the money to basically launch Shiftco.global. And we use these methods that I've been using for the last 14 years. We teach these methods to entrepreneurs that are trying to grow their impact and are trying to grow more profitably so they can make a bigger difference.
Yeah. So, okay. So someone's like, well, this sounds wonderful. I'm in. How do I become a member?
Well, we like people to attend free events first. We do free training events, free networking events, because community matters. And we really want people to feel comfortable with the folks that they're learning with side by side. The membership fee is a couple $100s a month. It's ridiculously affordable. That includes all the coaching and mentoring and training that you need. And I think the coolest thing, Josh, we measure our success in Shiftco not by profit or revenue, but by how many members have actually doubled and tripled their revenue in 1 to 2 years. And right now it's 72% of our members have doubled or tripled their revenue, which means they went from one phase to the next in 1 to 2 years. That's our measure of success. We call it MSR, member success ratio. And that's the number, that we count with our board every 2 months. That's the number we look at. And so right now we're at 72%. I think by our 2-year anniversary, I think it could be as high as 80%. That's what drives us, is helping our members scale their business so that they can make a bigger impact.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So if someone becomes a member, and again, the website shiftco.global, attend a free event, then the membership is very reasonable. What is someone getting as a part of their Shiftco membership if they're a business leader?
The most powerful thing we do is we have this conscious business growth platform that I built has a map. It's a technology tool that we built that diagnoses what is the one thing that you need versus the one thing that I need. So two members could join on the exact same day. They do their map, they work with their mentor. They're going to go different pathways, even though their business may be at the same size. I might be missing demand generation and marketing. You might be missing differentiation. So that mapping process and the mentor helps them identify which path to take. And our philosophy is that success breeds success. So if we can help you crack one little thing, not 50 things that you need to address, but one thing, then it's going to encourage you, and you're going to feel that your business moving forward. And when your business moves forward, that gets very exciting. So once they get there, once they do the map and they get their diagnoses and their prescription, they then get the training and coaching. They have two different types of coaches that they work with constantly. One is an expert in whatever that pathway is, that one thing that I need. And then they also get a phase coach to help them navigate that whole business phase. So there's always one coach that they stay with, but they also then work with these experts throughout. And so that one pathway, so let's say I'm working on demand generation and marketing, I get through that pathway in 5 to 6 weeks, my business starts to move forward. I'm like, wow, this is working. I go back to my mentor, I work with them to identify the next pathway. And so we've built this diagnostic prescriptive pathway system so that every entrepreneur is only working on what they need to work on, what is missing in their business, what's the one thing they need. And that's what makes it work.
Yeah. This is really exciting. So is there like an application process beyond that, or they're just,
No.
it looks like the mentors are just people that have been through the program themselves.
All the mentors and coaches have used it to grow their business. That's the only way you can mentor and grow. Mentor and coach for us is you have to have used it to grow your business.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. We've got 5 mentors and 7 coaches, including myself. I'm one of the phase coaches, so I help people navigate those phases. And there's not an application process. We feel like the right people that are a fit for us will attend an event and say, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and join. And then there's no long-term commitment or anything like that, which why our retention rate is, I think, 95.2%. We retain every month of the members who join. And it works. And it's a powerful community that just tries to help each other grow their business and grow their impact.
Yeah, I would imagine the networking alone would be exceptionally valuable.
The networking is powerful. We use this method. I didn't create this method. It's called What If Up. And when we're networking, people come to the networking event rather than, here's my card, call me. We say, okay, what's the biggest challenge you have in your business? And then the whole community in that hub gives them these what if up ideas. What if you tried this? And what if you tried that? And so that's part of our cultural fabric. And it got a lot of our early members through COVID. We were doing what if up events every other day during COVID as people were pivoting. It was very powerful. So that's now part of our cultural fabric, is using what if up.
Wow. I'm looking through the events, and I'm even seeing events like there's a Tampa, Orlando virtual launch and leap event. What are these local oriented events?
Yeah, so it's a global platform. We have members from 11 different countries, but we had always imagined the vision for this, Josh, and you I'm sure understand this, but we feel like if we can bring together in Dallas, New York, Tampa, Orlando, Austin, bring together entrepreneurs that are trying to make the world better, have them work locally as well together. Then when we get around 100 members in a market, we then can have each market select a nonprofit that they help. And then we match whatever services or donations they give, we'll match that. So we've got 2 markets, Dallas and New York, that are about halfway to that 100 member mark. I think we'll be there by the end of the year. And then, just imagine unleashing 100 successful conscious entrepreneurs to choose a nonprofit in Dallas or New York to do good. Wow. So their businesses are growing. They then collaborate together and they try to help something in their community do better. the power of that's amazing. So that's why we created these hubs, is we want people to work side by side, shoulder to shoulder, to make their community better as they're growing their businesses.
Yeah, very cool. All right. So again, your website's shareonpurpose.com and shiftco.global. And what would be like is there like a pillar piece of content that you'd say, yeah, if you want to start digging into a little bit more about how we work and who we're looking for and, who's a great fit for us, watch this. What is that?
There's a video right on the homepage. There's also videos of our members doing testimonies. And then on our YouTube site, we publish a lot of our training events are there. So you could go through our YouTube site, pick one of the training events and get a feel for the caliber of our master teachers and coaches.
Yeah. Terri Maxwell, you're an investor, a business growth expert, inspirational speaker, author, and again, the CEO and president of Shiftco, found on the web at shiftco.global and shareonpurpose.com. Terri, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Josh, for having me, and keep up the great work. I just love the idea of the thoughtful entrepreneur. I love the podcast and I love your work as well.
Well, thank you.